Welcome to the PDX files. Each week we dive into the weird and the unexplained here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. My name is Peach.
And I'm Mac.
And Mac, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about some relatively recent news. I think within the last week, at least where we are right now, and it kind of involves the Giza pyramids and maybe a little bit. It could be alien, could be their own technology, but something's definitely going on down below, and this has been kind of discovered by science.
All
So we
right.
should get into it.
But as usual, I have not seen this video, so my responses will be authentic. Here we go.
Discovered beneath the pyramids at the Giza Plateau will absolutely blow your mind. It's almost impossible to put into words just how significant this discovery is. The latest revelation about the Egyptian pyramids and the
Crazy.
entire plateau is so astonishing, so paradigm shifting that it could change everything. Now, this is truly breaking news. On March 16th, a team investigating the Great Pyramid of Giza held a press conference to share their findings. By using an advanced, non-invasive scanning method called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, Synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography, that was a bit of a mouthful, researchers have mapped the pyramid's interior and the ground beneath it in extraordinary detail. This technology works by detecting tiny movements from natural seismic activity, allowing for the creation of high-resolution, full 3D tomographic scans of the pyramid's interior and subsurface structures. And what they've uncovered, well, it rewrites history. It's based on a paper from 2022, where Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa and Filippo Biondi, a radar and remote sensing specialist at the University of Strathclyde, published a peer-reviewed study through MDPI, titled Synthetic Aperture Radar Doppler Tomography, I'm not going to say that again, reveals details of undiscovered high-resolution internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Their research unveils hidden underground structures that would otherwise remain invisible to conventional archaeological tools, leading to the discovery of never-before-seen internal features within the Great Pyramid. And here's what's just been announced. By analysing multiple tomographic SAR images from various perspectives, researchers constructed a 3D model of both the internal chambers of the Khafre Pyramid and what lies deep beneath the plateau itself. Near the base of the pyramid, they identified a previously undocumented chamber containing 5 identical structures, interconnected by precisely laid out geometric pathways. Within each structure are 5 horizontal levels topped with a slanted ceiling, an architectural style that has never before been documented at Giza, or anywhere else to my knowledge. But the most shocking discovery lies underground. Beneath the pyramid, enormous formations extend downward from its base, plunging deep into the bedrock. Radar scans have detected vertical cylindrical shafts running hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these massive wells, for want of a better term, arranged in 2 parallel rows, reaching an incredible depth of 648 meters.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a long way down.
That is a long way down. And it looks like, well, I don't know, it's showing on the screen here, it looks like springs.
Yeah, like almost like a power coil of some type, which I think is what they're going to get into here. But the fact that they're able to use, and again, from what I remember, even before this video, understanding a little bit about that type of radar, it's not that it goes down that deep. It's actually pretty shallow, but what it gets is kind of the reverberations of things underneath that kind of show up, and it's proven to be pretty accurate. Again, this is back in 2022, and now they're just releasing this now. This isn't something that hasn't been looked at or evaluated. And again, if this is true, it really rewrites what we know as what these pyramids are created for. It wasn't just for the glorification of a pharaoh. It was to create power, and not like power like Donald Trump power, but like actual usable energy for the folks who were there living there. And maybe who knows what it was used for. There's certainly something that you haven't seen, at least yet anyway, throughout the rest of the world. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what some of these pyramids are involved in. But just the thought of that down there that we've never been able to discover is pretty damn incredible.
Is definitely piquing my interest right now. So let's continue.
At the bottom of these structures are two gigantic cube-like formations, each measuring about 80 meters across. The radar data suggests that these shafts contain complex spiral pathways, hinting at a purpose far beyond what conventional Egyptology has ever considered. Now, there's no clue yet what these could be, but maybe these spiraling shafts are ancient stairways. I'm speculating here, but could this connect to the long-rumored Hall of Records? For centuries, stories have hinted at a hidden repository of lost knowledge beneath Giza. Robert Schoch thinks it's beneath the Sphinx, but is this it? Or is it something else? Is it something to do with power generation, as has been proposed before? Either way, the implications of this discovery completely dismantles the accepted historical timeline of ancient Egypt and of human civilization as a whole. The level of engineering required to create such deep and extensive subterranean structures simply does not align with what we've been taught about the civilization responsible for the pyramids. Now, the Great Pyramids were already an anomaly in the traditional Egyptian narrative. Anyone with anything even resembling an open mind could see the facts of 2.3 million limestone blocks per pyramid, weighing up to 80 tons each, transported hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, built so precisely it beggars belief, and all done with primitive tools and inside a tiny time frame. It simply doesn't make sense. But this makes it impossible to argue that the society we know from history built these structures. And it doesn't stop there. Even more astonishingly, these formations appear to be linked to a subterranean system that stretches up to 2 kilometers beneath the plateau. Yes, 2 kilometers of massive, hidden structures. Further radar scans reveal an interconnected network of underground formations, extending not just beneath the Pyramid of Khafre, but also under the pyramids of Khufu and Menkaure. This subsurface system descends roughly 2 kilometers below ground, something that simply shouldn't be possible. According to mainstream archaeological and historical theories, traditional Egyptology still maintains that these pyramids were simply royal tombs, built around 2500 BCE, using primitive technology like ramps and sleds, ropes, and just hard manual labor. However, many scholars and engineers have been arguing for years that this theory fails to explain the advanced mathematical precision found in their construction, where values such as pi and the golden ratio are encoded into the structures. Now, with this latest SAR data, evidence seems to be emerging that the pyramids perhaps served a more functional or mechanical purpose, rather than merely being tombs.
I mean, yeah, I've always sort of believed a little bit about that okay, a pharaoh, the death of a pharaoh or family, or the tombs, or even a line, like a dynastic line, would be able to force people to build something of that kind of you can't even imagine the level of effort it would take to do that, right? Unless it was for a certain purpose, unless it was for something bigger than just a pharaoh and his family.
Right.
That to me makes a lot more sense than, okay, the pharaoh's dead now, what are we going to do? Because it didn't just happen over like a couple of years, right? So that's pretty fucking amazing, and actually is really recent, but this has just come out, and to me it does kind of do a bit of a reset in kind of how you look at the pyramids. I get it; it's not 100% proven, but it's to me we can't. There was something else even really earlier in the week talking about how they found certain certain fatty acids that indicated or some sort of organics on Mars. It's like we're discovering more and more about this stuff on almost a daily, weekly basis. So this didn't surprise me, but it was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of what I thought all along.
Not this. I mean, I know we've still got a little bit of the video to show here, but not this level of sophistication. My God.
No, this is
I get-
amazing.
yeah, I get if there's something that we just hadn't discovered for hundreds of years that were below because we didn't have the right, sensing equipments to be able to do it. This is insane.
Yeah, this isn't Geraldo trying to break into some tomb, right? This is like some
Right.
shit that's going on. And if it is as big as it appears to be, this is something that as he says, does rewrite human history, and it could mean something else.
Yeah. All right, let's continue here.
There's barely any evidence that they were tombs anyway, but whatever. But this idea of a mechanical purpose has been proposed before. Nikola Tesla speculated that the pyramids were capable of harnessing Earth's natural frequencies, an idea that influenced his own wireless energy transmission experiments. In the Giza power plant, engineer Christopher Dunn theorized that the Great Pyramid functioned as a power generator, utilizing acoustic resonance to convert mechanical stress into usable energy. There was even a physics paper published in 2018 that seemed to support this idea. It seems like these theories are starting to appear not quite so wacky after all. And there's even more information yet to come. Reports suggest that a 4-hour presentation will soon be released by the research team, detailing every aspect of their discoveries. This early disclosure that we've seen is perhaps a strategic move to build public interest. I'm not sure, but it's working. I can't think of anything else that's more exciting right now. This might just be the most compelling evidence yet for an alternative technological explanation behind the Giza complex. Even more intriguingly, it may provide the strongest proof so far of an advanced civilization that existed before recorded history, before the Great Cataclysm at the end of the Ice Age. Naturally, these findings are highly controversial, and they directly contradict the long-standing academic consensus. If further evidence supports these results, it will send unbelievable shockwaves through archaeology, history, and beyond. But from what's been presented so far, one thing is obvious. There is immense structural engineering hidden deep below the pyramids and the Giza plateau. So what do you think? Does this discovery and what it potentially represents change your perspective on the pyramids?
Yeah. Yes, it does. It does change my perspective on it. I think I always had a little bit of a different perspective on it anyway, but I never would have imagined as a kid thinking about that. I thought it was just some like pyramid bit built on some sand, and not really understanding I mean, obviously it wasn't just that because you couldn't just sort of support it that way, but that it's come to this point and we have the technology now to sort of learning more and more about some of these structures and some of the things in the ancient past that we didn't know about. It's pretty exciting, I think, anyway.
Yeah, exciting and certainly concerning from an academic standpoint because if it does,
Yeah.
if these findings end up being true, it opens up they open up just a bunch of other questions that need to be asked, right? And what are the repercussions downstream of those questions, right, as they're being answered? I mean, what other common knowledge all of a sudden becomes questionable, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to because there's always this thought that obviously, well, not obviously, but scientifically that we evolved from apes and how we've just kind of kind of t invented technology exponentially over time, and that's us. We're the ones who've been making that happen. But when it comes to studies like this, where it leans to, I mean, it's still questioning. It's definitely questioning a higher form of understanding and intelligence that brought the pyramids together. It doesn't necessarily mean it's extraterrestrial, but that's kind of where it's leaning towards. It's like we can't possibly have had this kind of technology and understanding of mathematics to be able to do something like this way back when, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and just the fact that there is the possibility that life has been an advanced species of human beings have been wiped out before.
It, it,
It's kind of a scary thought too, right?
it is, and it is also, kind of putting a little bit more credence to the theory of Anunnaki, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
ancient civilization, right? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But it did say, I'm sorry, when was this video? I should have
I think it was about a week ago.
fairly recent. So it'd be interesting to find out, what that 4-hour presentation really contains. I mean, how detailed will they go into either further theorizing or proving what they found to be true?
Well, there's a couple YouTube folks that I like. Vetted has a video about this. We'll try to endeavor to put something about that on there. But I think another source is Project Unity, from what I remember from that. They have a bit more information about this. I just happened to pick this one because I thought it was a bit more punchy than some of the other stuff that I saw. And there is actually some footage. A lot of these researchers who were doing it were Italian, so it's all in Italian, and so you have to find the ability to have it with uh, subtitles. But there's a lot of information still to come about this, I think, and it's going to be pretty impressive, especially if it's all proven to be true, frankly. And if it is, and I already got a lot of science behind it, it's not a bunch of bullshit. It's not a bunch of people on Ancient Aliens who are just guessing. They're actually looking into this stuff. So I put a lot of credence into it. I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, me too. It'll be groundbreaking. So if you enjoy this content, please give it a like and share it across your socials to help get the word out about our show. If you hadn't already done so, please subscribe. And on YouTube, hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.